About 13 years ago, I went fishing on the river with Patrick and Charles. We were sitting in a small boat that Charles was driving. Do you know what's down there? You have to be careful if you don't want to smell alligator breath, Charles said. But while they were fishing, Charles suddenly advanced aggressively on the boat and Patrick fell into the water. Patrick was drowning and screaming because he didn't know how to swim. Charles quickly drove the boat to save Patrick, but the boat hit Patrick's head, struggling in the water. Patrick suddenly stopped and sank into the water as she screamed at Charles to save Patrick. Charles jumped into the water, dived under the water, and rose to the surface, shouting, "Damn, it's so deep." I was in shock and Patrick was nowhere to be seen. I kept shouting and Charles said, "I think he's already sunk," and climbed back into the boat. We surrounded the river, but the water was still clear. I was in great shock and couldn't do anything at that moment. I called the rescue team and they arrived after a while, but they could not easily find Patrick's body because the river was fast and deep. When I returned home, I replayed those moments over and over in my mind. Could it be that Charles shot Patrick on purpose? Did he kill him on purpose? We were great friends and my whole body was shaking in shock. Charles told the police that it had all happened by accident, but he was eventually sentenced to 2 years in prison. From that day on, I decided to cut all ties with Charles. But 2 years later, he received a call from Charles. "Dude, I'm here. Should we go fishing for gator fish?" The two of us started meeting again from time to time, but every time he hung out with me, we'd just go to uninhabited places and he'd always say things like, "Hey, if someone dies around here, no one would know, right?" I was starting to get creepy feelings about him. One day he told me there was something he wanted to do. Dig a deep hole in the mountains, fill it with water, and drop 100 piranhas into it to drown one. His eyes were shining like a child as he told this. While we were talking business, he said to me, "If you want to make a lot of money, you should make human meat mukbang and share it on the deep web," and earnestly asked me to join. He was turning out to be a psychopath, and I thought I would get into big trouble if I continued to hang out with him, so I decided not to contact him anymore. After that, I didn't contact him for about 10 years, but one day I got a call from him saying he had cancer and wanted to meet me before he died. I felt sorry for him for some reason, so I decided to visit him. When I got to the hospital, he was lying on his hospital bed, wasted like a skeleton, and when he saw me, he said, "Dude, we had so much fun in the past. Maybe you don't know, but I killed Patrick on purpose. I've killed 5 people in total so far. The stories I told you weren't just fantasy. Oh, I'm about to die, but can you grant me one wish first?" Said I was in shock and couldn't even say a word. He continued speaking in a strange voice. "I want to stab the abdomen of the surgeon who operated on me in the hospital because he opened my wife. I wonder if the surgeon could feel how to open the abdominal cavity." I left the room and ran away, and after a while I heard that he died in the hospital. I did not go to his funeral. I wonder, is he resting in peace after his death, or is he able to meet Patrick after his death? Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel.